the gambling news nobody asked for, with our dear host, Dr. Desi.
Welcome back to the gambling news nobody asked for, the only show where the gambling industry keeps proving that reality has completely given up.
Tonight, Netflix accidentally promotes a crypto casino, Congress wants casinos to scan your face, Google gets fined for illegal gambling ads, a woman wins $50,000 using her late brother's memorial code, and 8 tribal casinos receive coordinated bomb threats. So, let's see how gambling managed to appear in places absolutely nobody asked for. So, Netflix accidentally gave free advertising to a crypto casino. Not in a commercial, not a sponsorship, in the background of one of its shows. Because apparently, even fictional universes have gambling sponsors now. The logo belonged to Robit, one of the biggest crypto gambling platforms. And the internet noticed almost immediately. Which is impressive, because Netflix viewers usually miss entire plot twists while looking for their phone. The company later edited the episode, which means somewhere inside Netflix, a group of adults had an emergency meeting. People, we accidentally advertised online gambling to millions of viewers. I love that this happened because streaming platforms spend billions making every single frame perfect. They'll digitally erase a coffee cup, de-age an actor with 20 years, replace entire backgrounds with CGI, but somehow a crypto casino sneaks into the final cut. And honestly, that's modern advertising. You don't always know whether you're watching content or content watching you. At this point, I fully expect the next season of Stranger Things to pause halfway through the Demogorgon fight. This monster attack is brought to you by enhanced odds on tonight's NBA games. The gambling industry must love moments like this. They don't even have to buy attention anymore. Sometimes attention accidentally finds them. The interesting part isn't that the logo appeared. It's that people spotted it almost immediately. We often hear that nobody pays attention anymore, but our brains are surprisingly good at noticing things that don't belong. Maybe attention isn't disappearing. Maybe we are just becoming much more selective about where we spend it. Next story. Congress wants to introduce facial recognition to stop underage gambling. And honestly, I didn't have casino scans your face before taking your money on my 2026 bingo card. The proposed bill would require casinos to use facial recognition technology to verify customers' age, which sounds responsible until you remember it's still a casino. They're basically saying, we are deeply committed to protecting young people once they're old enough to lose everything. I also love how technology keeps solving problems. That technology helped create it. Online gambling became available everywhere. So now we need AI to figure out who's actually old enough to click the button. And facial recognition is getting scary good. It can estimate your age, recognize your face, sometimes even identify your mood, but somehow I still have to prove I'm not a robot by clicking pictures of traffic lights. And imagine getting rejected by a casino. Sorry, our AI believes you're 16. I'm 34. Congratulations, you also have an amazing skin. Technology can verify someone's age. It can't verify their judgment. Turning 18 changes what's legal. It doesn't suddenly make people immune to impulsive decisions. That's why protecting people from gambling takes much more than checking an ID. And next, Google has been fined for displaying illegal gambling advertisements in Italy. Google, the company that knows where you were yesterday, what you searched at 2 a.m. and somehow missed illegal gambling ads. The fine was around $854,000, which for Google is roughly the financial equivalent of accidentally typing your waiter too much. The authorities say Google allowed advertisements from unlicensed gambling operators. And every time I hear something like this, I imagine the algorithm saying, I can identify 57 different dog breeds, but this illegal casino, no idea. These platforms always tell us their algorithms are incredibly sophisticated. They know what videos we'll watch, what products we'll buy, what route we'll take home, yet every illegal gambling ad somehow arrives dressed as Clark Kent. And then, the moment regulators show up, everyone suddenly becomes surprised. Wait, those were illegal? It's amazing how artificial intelligence becomes artificial confusion whenever money is involved. Trust is built on consistency. The more accurate technology becomes in one area, the more people expect it to be accurate everywhere. That's why stories like this damage confidence. If a platform can recognize our interests with incredible precision, people naturally expect it to recognize obvious risks too. And now, a story for the superstitious. Because if you've ever believed the universe was sending you a sign, this woman might say it finally did. A lottery story that somehow managed to be wholesome and emotionally manipulative at the same time. A woman won $50,000 using the memorial number she created after her brother passed away. And suddenly, every lottery advertisement in America went, "Write that down." She had been playing the same numbers for years, which is exactly how lotteries love these stories. Not because they prove anything, but because they make coincidence feel like destiny. I guarantee thousands of people read this article and immediately thought, I should probably keep playing my numbers. And honestly, it's a beautiful story. But mathematically, the lottery machine had absolutely no idea whose numbers they were. It didn't know they honored her brother. It didn't know the story. It just did what random numbers do. And somehow, humans see some random numbers and immediately assume the universe has a gambling account. Stories like this stay with us because they're deeply emotional. And emotion makes memories feel more meaningful than statistics. That's why we remember the extraordinary lottery story far more easily than the millions of ordinary losing tickets. And finally, 8 tribal casinos across the United States received coordinated bomb threats. Thankfully, authorities found no explosives. But imagine getting evacuated from a casino. before the casino had the chance to evacuate your bank account. The threats forced multiple casinos to shut down while police searched the buildings, which has to be one of the few times a casino tells people, "Please take your money and leave." Authorities believe the threats were coordinated. And honestly, if you're organizing fake bomb threats, I think you've officially found a hobby that pays even worse than gambling. The good news, everyone was safe. The bad news, people still came back to gamble later. That's the strange thing about casinos. They can survive recessions, controversies, power outrages, apparently even bomb threats. When people feel emotionally attached to a place, they often return surprisingly quickly after a frightening event. The relief that nothing happened can replace fear almost immediately. Sometimes feeling safe again is enough for people to continue exactly where they left off. So today we learned Netflix accidentally promoted a crypto casino. Casinos may soon recognize your face before they recognize your gambling problem. Google somehow missed illegal gambling ads, despite knowing everything else about us. A lottery win reminded us how easily emotions turns coincidence into destiny. And even bomb threats weren't enough to keep people away from casinos for long. But maybe that's the real story. Gambling keeps finding new places to appear. In TV shows, in technology, in search results, in deeply personal stories, and sometimes even in the middle of a police investigation. Because gambling doesn't just compete for our money, it competes for our attention. And the more often it becomes part of everyday life, the easier it is to forget we're looking at gambling at all. This was the gambling news nobody asked for. See you next time.
Stay tuned, follow, and subscribe for more news nobody asked for.